Welcome to today's health conversation. And I'm Børre Gjersvik.
And I'm Linda.
And we are going to talk about organic extra virgin olive oil and the production facility and the health benefits of olive oil. And in our pure Arctic oil, we have, of course, the world's best olive oil from Terra Creta. Mm-hmm. And we have been visiting the factory just recently. And we want to talk about the visit.
Yes,
and,
what we saw, what we experienced, what we learned.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep, we were together with many business partners. There are also many business partners out there who have been lucky enough to experience this and to learn about this. So, and to learn about the great combination of our products. So in our products, in our pure Arctic oil, like you said, we have this combination of the Arctic and the Mediterranean diet together. And this is important.
Yeah, I didn't say it, but you said it now.
Yes.
So, yeah, so of course the Mediterranean diet is rich in you know, I would say the basic food, so it's not processed food, right? So they eat a lot of fruit, vegetables, fish, and of course the olive oil.
Yes. That's the main part of the Mediterranean diet is the health benefits related to the polyphenols in the extra virgin olive oil. And we are lucky enough to have this in our products together with the cod marine, the Arctic part of the products. Yeah. Yes. So if we go into a bit of the olive oil part, when we fly over Crete, there's olive trees all over, right?
It looks like forest from the plane, and there is very little trees. It's olive trees. There's more than 40 million trees on this island.
And all of them it's just growing olives. You can see this picture from the airplane, which I took over when we flew out. Olive trees all over. And also they have a very good, like a big tradition for olives and olive trees in Crete. And the soil and the temperature there is perfect for growing olives. And everybody who lives outside of the city, they do have olive trees in their garden.
Yes.
So we had a taxi driver, and he told us that he himself, he had 100 trees in his garden, olive trees. And he said, well, that's pretty small because people have lots more. And I was like, wow, 100 olive trees, that's quite a lot. So he got around, like he said, 450 liters of olive oil from those 100 trees. And he gave that to his friends and family, and he used it. Like it cherished it. It was very special, and they used it for cooking and used it for cream and everything.
Yeah, so basically we can then say that one tree will be able to produce from 3 to 6 liters of olive oil.
Which is really a lot. So that's also important how you take care of the tree, how you cut it, how the soil is, how the moisture and everything. And that's optimal in Crete. And we were lucky to visit our producer.
Yes. The producer, it's a little bit special because, you know, when I was thinking about this production, not only the facilities, but the the ground and all the trees, but they actually get their olives from their own ground, but also they get it from 6,000, is it?
600 farmers. Yes.
600 farmers.
So all of these farmers, they grow it on their properties and they deliver the oil to Terra Creta. So we went through the production facilities. We'll show you a bit about this. But before, we have to mention that Terra Creta are part of something called the Olive Oil Academy. So all of the farmers, all of the 600 farmers, they are a part of an academy which specializes on how to produce olive trees and olives to give high yield of olive oil. So this academy that they have created, it is an initiative, an educational initiative that improves like the quality of the tree, the quality of the harvest, and they do this by using smart techniques like this specific weather stations that we saw on Terra Creta. Each farmer has many of these weather stations placed on their farm, and it measures like temperature, it measures things in the soil,
humidity, yeah.
all of these things, and they get information directly into their app, so they can see, oh, something is happening here and there, or we have to water, or we have to take care of the trees, or they're not cut properly. And then they get expert advice from agronomists and also people in science.
Yeah.
And this initiative is through the Ministry of Agriculture in Greece.
It's very successful.
Very successful.
And they managed to increase the harvest or the production with about 50% since they initiated this academy.
Yes, so this is really, really good. So this gives a high yield of extra virgin olive oil, organic extra virgin olive oil.
Yes. And then when we were visiting the area, there was of course so many trees, and we could see the flowers. So now, right now, they are in this blossom. But there's only 3 to 5% of the flowers that become a fruit, so an olive. There's so many very beautiful flowers, and yeah, it's a natural process, so the farmer don't do anything. So it just takes care of itself.
Yeah. Yes. The only thing the farmer is very particular of doing is cutting the tree correctly. They said that's a very important thing for getting a good yield. So cutting, like controlling moisture. But with the flowers, they just, some of them become olives and some of them does not. And they use a specific cultivar of olives, right? They use the...
Yeah, koreneki. It's a fruit that it has a lot of polyphenols.
Yes. So this one is particularly high in polyphenols like the terosol, the hydrodoxyterosol, and the urlopane.
So mainly it's the fruit that gives the more polyphenols, but it's also a little bit if the tree is growing more in the shadow or more in the sun, that also has something to say. But mostly it's the fruit.
Yes, and it's also a particular time of harvest.
Yeah. So, you know, if you want the most polyphenols, you start early, and that's in October. And then you also harvest until end of January. End of January, there is not so much polyphenols.
Yeah, so it's a pre-harvested one that has the highest. And it's something also with the moon, isn't it?
It is believed, so this is not proven, scientifically proven, but the farmers are very convinced. So it's a little bit like the same story as the tide, you know, when they have the moon and the tides coming in. So when there is full moon, that's when they say the fruit get the most juice or flavor. So they try to harvest when it's full moon. And it's also very important for the farmer not to pick. So let's say it's more than 30 degrees and it's full moon, then they don't pick the fruit because it's too warm. So they like to pick it when it's under 28 degrees.
So it's quite particular to get the best olive oil and the best olives in the world in Crete. So you also mentioned that the pre-harvested olives has the highest content of polyphenols, and it's so that also the polyphenol can affect the sensory perception of the oil. So we know that it's possible to harvest olives and produce olive oil that contains more than 1,000 milligrams per kilo of polyphenols, but that is very, very high. So they try to keep it around like 350, 400 to give a high polyphenol content in the oil and not too strong. Because olive oil, when it's high polyphenols, it really stings in the throat. And you can really feel it.
This is important to address because we do get a lot of questions because we get tips about certain products in the world that has more polyphenols. And you can have that in Crete. You can have that with Terra Creta. So it's not about that. It's also that it needs to be pleasant to taste.
Yes, absolutely.
So in October, as we said, that's when it has the most. And they use the right olive for it also. So yeah.
Yes, because it gets this peppery, tingly, this burning sensation when that's the polyphenols, and it's really good, and we feel that in our oil as well, in puritic oil. But if it's too much, of course, it will be difficult to drink it. But you know, when you feel this, it's the polyphenols, the health beneficial effects in the oil. So it's not a bad thing.
You will notice very much if you taste an olive in October in Crete or any place actually. So you pick the fruit and you taste it, it's super bitter, and it's like it, and it's sitting on the tongue. If you don't drink, it will be there for maybe an hour.
But you will get super healthy. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have the harvest itself.
And then the harvest is you know, it needs to be temperature below 28. That's very important because when they call it cold pressed, it's under 27 degrees. So then if you pick it and it's more than 27, 28 degrees, then that doesn't fit, to the philosophy. And it's not only a philosophy, it's like the fish oil we have. It need to be, we are producing the fish oil we have, the pure Arctic oil, within 4 to 6 hours after the harvest.
Yeah, so from the fish is fished to the crude oil is produced is around 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, yes.
Yeah, and then they need to be very careful how they pick the fruit, the olive fruit. And then they use certain equipment that are very gentle against the tree and the fruit and so on. And then when they drop to the floor, they use nets so it doesn't land on a stone or something, because then it can crack. And if it's crack, that is like an apple. It can then ruin other fruits as well. So this is a very careful process.
Yes, and a very quick process. So there are lots of people in motion to pick and deliver the oil within 6 to 12 hours. So that's also a really good quality stamp that from the olive fruit to the olive oil, it's only like 12 hours maximum.
Because it's like the pure Arctic oil, the fish oil, it starts to oxidize. Or the quality will be more of rancid quality if it's produced, next day or something.
Yeah, the acid value also increases, which decreases the quality of the
that's
olives.
important, the acid value.
Yes. Because when the olives arrive at Terra Creta, there is a traceability system as well. It comes there, the farmer scans the barcode and says, okay, it's from this farm, from this olive, from these trees, and then you have full traceability from the tree actually into the finished products.
Yeah.
So what they do, like you mentioned, the acid value, they take olives from that batch that arrives and measures the acid value very quickly, and they can see like if it's low, then it's a good quality oil and they can continue to production, because the acid value should be below like 0.8 or so.
For the extra virgin olive oil.
If it's higher, then it will be just a virgin olive oil. So of course we want an extra virgin. That's what Terra Creta also produces. So that what goes into production.
Yeah.
So you see the conveyor belt here, they drop the olive oils down in that belt and then it goes into production. So, and then of course, since it's a natural product, it contains maybe leaves or sticks or stones, and these things has to be removed. And then they go into a washing step where they wash it with clean water, they dry it and they crush the olives, and they crush it with knives. With the stones and everything, it creates a paste, and that paste is then transferred into a milling called malaxation, which are like wheels that tosses the paste around for like 20 to 40 minutes. And this, like you said, it's all been done in 27 degrees or below, like it shouldn't be higher than 27 degrees. In stainless steel, it's free from plastics and other contaminants. And it's also kept like close to keep the aroma and all the nutrients of the olive oil inside of that process. And then this paste is then transferred to a centrifuge and a separator that separates the oil from the paste. Then you have the paste, then you have the oil, but still there are some water in the oil, and you take that out. Then you have a cold press or something called cold extraction of the extra virgin olive oil. So it's a cold pressed or cold extracted organic extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also like you have the pastes that contains like the pits and everything. They take that and make it into small sort of, it looks like a coffee grain, like a dried coffee grain. And they dry it, and this is used to fuel up the factory, to use everything from the olive back into the machinery and back into the factory. So all of this is very natural and sustainable.
It's because the last stage, that's when they actually produced what they just call olive oil, or that's when they use, this is, what we can say when you, let's compare it to seed oils, okay? Because this is made from the fruit and the seed oils are made from seeds. To get oil out of seeds, you need to use chemicals, hexane. So then they have a process, the latest process, because it's 4 qualities. So the quality that is the last they have in this process is the same process as they produce seed oils. So they use hexane and heat to get out the oil.
to get all of the last remains. But that doesn't go to like human oils. Usually it goes to
soaps and these
everything.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of course there's no chemicals, nothing.
No,
in
of course
our,
not.
In,
No, no.
in our product, it's just like we said. It's washing, it's milled, it's then centrifuge, and you get this clear, beautiful oil.
Yeah.
Which again have to go through a very short filtration step, then to prevent this sedimentation in the bottom of the bottles. And also they have to test the quality, sensory qualities, and they then keep the oils in tanks after it's finished. And these tanks are very special. They have this own production technique for this. They are kept at 20 degrees Celsius to keep all of the nutrients, to keep the sensory profile, to keep the polyphenols stable when it's stored in these tanks. So that's also very good. So quality in all steps. And we saw that when we visited them, that it's quality in every step, and that the way that they produce, they care themselves, and the way they have traceability programs, sustainability programs, the Olive Oil Academy.
Yep.
It's,
so this is maybe something we can mention because olive oil should be stable in temperature. And that's why maybe you don't want to put it in the fridge, because then it's too cold, and then it can get a little bit more stiff or cloggy. So when you have a more stable temperature, like 20 degrees, that's why you find olive oil just in the stores, not in the fridge.
But for our product, Pure Arctic Oil, when you have opened it, it's very good to keep it then in the fridge with the lid good on.
Yeah, but it's then blended with fish oil, so then it stays because of all the... Because olive oil has one double bites, it's monounsaturated, and fish oil has
polyunsaturated.
Polyunsaturated, yeah. And then you can have it in the fridge because it doesn't get stiff, right? Yeah.
And also it's good with this filtration step that we just saw, that they also take some of the more saturated or the sedimentation away. And when it comes to tastes, we were lucky enough to have a lot of like different taste sessions when we were there tasting olive oil in different qualities. It's as advanced as tasting wine. They have like the sensory profile, as you see on the picture here. It's a lot of attributes that you taste and that you feel, depending also on the cultivar, the harvest, the trees, the growing conditions, the sun and everything. So it's a real science.
And they get it from 600 different farms. So taste is taste, but they have a profile of what is quality. So it's like wine.
Yes, it is. It was really interesting to try. I tried one with very high polyphenols content, and I immediately started coughing. But you really then feel this thing in the burn. So it was very interesting to try.
And you see it on the wheel here also, that they explain that sensation. If you start to cough, it's actually quite normal when you have a very strong polyphenol oil. Yeah. That's the reaction.
And also when it comes to quality, the oils from Terra Creta, they are ranked as top 10 in the world, actually, of Greek olive oils, and for 6 years in a row.
Yeah, the quality is, and we also need, for our oil, we need a reliable producer that can give us the quantity, because you can find very good oils in very small quantities. But this is very impressive because the quality is every year stable and on the highest level, year after year after year.
And we need that with our high quality marine oil. We need high quality then a cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. So it's very important for us then to use Terra Creta as a partner here. So with their high quality. And also, like we said, in general, in Crete, there are so many trees, so many olive trees, and they produce around 80,000 to 200,000 tons of olives annually, which is a lot. And we also say that around 5 kilos or 5.5 kilos of olives will give 1 kilo of olive oil. So, of course, it depends on things that we said, like how they cut it, how they treat the tree, all of this.
Yes. But it's quite many, I mean, it's a lot of olive fruits into 1 liter.
Yes. And we went to visit the oldest tree, I think, in Crete. It's called the ancient tree of wolves. It's an olive tree that actually lives, and it is 3,000 to 5,000 years old. It was mind-blowing just to see it. So it's the tree on the picture here. It's hollow inside, and it has roots that goes down, and it still produces olives.
Yeah.
After 3,000 or 5,000 years. They cannot really tell how old it is, but that's amazing.
Yeah, this tree also gave the leaf to in the Olympics.
It's an old traditional tree, so they take off some branches and they use it for the crowns at the Olympic when people have won. So that's
they
from
started
this tree.
Actually in the first Olympics, from the same tree, and then they continued.
So this was very interesting and fascinating to visit. And we can just show you a small video here that will tell more about what we just said, and you can see the things in live, how they harvest, and some pictures. And then after the oil is finished, high quality, then it's sent to PharmaMarine for blending with the cod marine oil and with the vitamin D, the vitamin A, the ubiquinol, the lutein, and everything that goes into our various different pure Arctic oil products.
Yep.
That's the process of the olive oil.
And this is, of course, something very important about, delivering. If you want to give, or choose one thing for your health, that is a supplement or nutrition, the one thing for most people should be omega-3 combined with olive oil.
Absolutely. You have two of the best diets combine into, especially with our products, combine into one product. The two most healthy diets in the world.
We know, of course, about the pure Arctic oil itself. If you look at olive oil, in 2024, a big study came out with 92,000 people followed for 28 years. And then they saw that people that took half a spoon of olive oil daily, they had a 28% lower risk of getting dementia in all the years. So 28% just by half a spoon of olive oil. And we have to remember in our product, we have about from 20 to 25, 26% olive oil, depending on which one. And that means you actually get half of that dose by 1 spoon of pure Arctic oil. So
that's really...
So it's there to protect you and also the oil itself.
Yes, absolutely. And if we take a look at the Mediterranean diet itself, we know it's the most studied and scientifically backed dietary pattern in the world. And this is due to the regular consumption of the olive oil, like we said. And also the olive oil contains the different monounsaturated fatty acids, the polyphenols, and this also is then attributed to a lifelong health span.
I will mention the vitamin E and also the fatty acid itself, oleic acid, because it's not only the polyphenols is very important, but the oleic acid is super important. It's actually activating also some longevity genes, and vitamin E, it's an antioxidant, it's important.
Yes.
So there's so much.
Absolutely, and the extra virgin olive oil is high in vitamin E.
Yeah.
So it's one of the few actually foods that are. So if you take a more closer look at the polyphenols, we know that they are strong antioxidants, and when they're strong antioxidants, they also can have these anti-inflammatory properties in the body. So there are many, many studies showing and supporting this, how it's linked to oxidative stress, reducing oxidative stress, and reducing inflammation, supporting healthy aging. And there's also EFSA claim on this, that if you have olive oil polyphenols, they can contribute to the protection of blood lipids from oxidative stress. But then there are also some conditions on how much you should use and how high the polyphenol content should be. But that's also good to have a claim supporting its effect of the polyphenols.
And then maybe we can go a little bit back to because there's 4 qualities of. So when you taste an olive oil that doesn't have the tingling sensation, that means it doesn't have any polyphenols. So, and then it's not so healthy. So that's typically olive oil that you use for frying and these things. So it has the oleic acid, but the polyphenols are missing. Yeah.
And then you have like the virgin grade and then the extra virgin grades, which are the ones that we use, and the cold pressed and the cold extracted. And the organic, which we of course think is the best.
One question I had actually when I was visiting, because there is so much rumors or, could we, cook and fry in extra virgin olive oil? And this is a big misconception. You say that? So yes, you can.
Absolutely.
But when it gets more than 190 degrees Celsius, then it starts to get not so healthy.
Because you reach the smoking point of the oil. So you break the oil after 190, but up to that you can cook most foods up to 190 degrees.
It's actually maybe the healthiest choice for you to cook in.
And then you choose one with high polyphenol and extra virgin. That's the one that you can cook in at high temperatures.
Yeah.
So if we look at our pure Arctic oil products, of course we have the marine part with the cod marine, which is the Arctic diet put into there with all of the full spectrum fatty acids. You have sort of the whole fatty acid profile of the fish. And then you put together with the organic cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, you get the Mediterranean diet. You combine these two together, so you sort of put polyphenols back into the fish where it's belonging, kind of. So you get a complete profile with the Arctic and the Mediterranean diet into one. And we also see this when we look at the oxidation of the product, the oxidative stability index. We can see how well this combination fits together and how it keeps the oil stable.
Yeah. To be stable, it's important, because if it's not stable, it will actually, you will need your own system to take care of the rancid parts of the oil if it's not stable. So that means you will use your own antioxidants to maybe clear the oil.
It becomes more oxidative stress, and then you have less antioxidants.
Exactly. So that's why it's so important that it's stable.
Absolutely. And we know that when we have a stable oil inside of the bottle, which we indicate here with the oxidative stability index, we know it's also stable inside of the body. And that's why we can dose our products in dosages of 1.4 grams of EPA and DHA per 10 milliliters. So it will be protected inside of the bottle, protected inside of the body, and you can safely then increase your omega-3 index, your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, and support all the system inside of the body.
This is a very important information for everyone, because let's say you take 2-3 grams of omega-3 from a capsule, that doesn't necessarily be very healthy for you. Because of the rancid, right? No. The rancidity.
Yes, I would absolutely never do that. So it should also always be protected by a strong antioxidant. And we have like the best here with the strong polyphenols. And we also know that the olive oil can also help the absorption and the bioavailability of the omega-3s as well. It's also shown. So then you have a dual effect there. It's better protected, it's better absorbed inside of the body. So that's also very good. So if we look at the different benefits with our pure Arctic oil, we know there are many, but it's natural. We have now 2 natural ingredients added together. The Mediterranean diet, the Arctic diet, superior taste awards, the full spectrum fatty acids from both, since it's natural, and that it delivers all of the nutrients and lots of nutrients that can improve the quality of life.
Yes.
So we were proud then to have products that combines the world's healthiest diets into our products.
100%.
Yes.
We got the taste awards and 2 stars on all of them. I think the olive oil is helping us a lot, but I also think that we could get it without the olive oil, because we have. So the kids oil doesn't have olive oil, and it got 2 stars on the taste award.
Absolutely, and it has because of the quality. If you have pure natural products that are fresh, then it's the best. And here, if you look at the other product, then you combine 2 very fresh ingredients together. So that's it. But the quality is the most important factor here.
And then I will say one more thing about the kids oil, because that's also a question we get. Why don't contain the olive oil? Well, for kids, many will find the polyphenols, the sensation, unpleasant. Also, when we don't have it, we have more DHA, and DHA is so important the 2 first year of the growth of the kid, the brain.
Yep, absolutely.
So then the DHA is more important than the olive oil.
So yeah, well, thank you. Hope this gave you some information about our wonderful quality ingredients in our periodic oils, and thank you for listening.